Every time I see this speech, it gives me goosebumps. Ray Lewis was known for being one of the greatest middle linebackers to ever play in the NFL. He played for the Baltimore Ravens his entire career from 1996 to 2012, and he was drafted 26th overall out of Miami when he first joined the team. There was already a star player there by the name of Rod Woodson, who was also wearing number 52. Now when Ray got to the team, he asked Woodson, "Hey, can I switch your number to 52? But Rod was like, "Hell no, that's my number." So then Ray was forced to wear number 58. Fast forward to their second season together. In 1997, Rod Woodson suffered a torn Achilles tendon and he missed the majority of that year. But before the start of the season, Woodson requested to have his number 50 to be retired. And this is where the story begins. Here is what Ray had to say about the situation and how it led to him having one of the greatest speeches ever given in sports. "I remember sitting in the meeting room and Ron Meeks, our secondary coach, calls me and says, 'Ray, get over to the equipment room right now.' I walk into the equipment room and there are two jerseys laid out on the table. One said 52, the other one said 58. Coach Meeks says, 'These are your two numbers. Choose one.' I look at him and I ask, 'Why?' He says, 'Because Woody's numbers are being retired.' I go, 'Oh man, not today, not today.' So I put on no 58 and I never wore no 52 until I retired. I thought if I was ever going to get no 52, I would have to earn it. I wanted to earn it with effort, heart and soul. I did not want to get it just because somebody gave it to me or I inherited it. I chose 58. I decided then I was going to make something happen in that locker room. At that moment, we were young, hungry, and motivated. We didn't know what was ahead of us. All we knew was the task at hand, which was to win the next down. This shows us that, even though we might think we're entitled to certain things in life, sometimes God has different plans for us and we have to adjust. There's a saying in the military that goes, improvise, adapt, and overcome, and this is exactly what Ray did. He could have complained, he could have made excuses and felt sorry for himself, but instead he took the cards that were dealt to him and he ran with them. As the years went on, Ray Lewis became a leader on and off the field, and he was known for his incredible work ethic and his infectious energy. The Ravens ended up retiring his number 52 in 2018. So today we gonna break down one of the greatest speeches ever from Ray Lewis on the meaning behind his number 52 and on effort. Now let's get into the speech. So Ray's talking to a crowd and they ask him, "What does the number 52 mean to you?" Here's what Ray had to say. "I think the biggest thing about the number 52 is what it represents: sacrifice and struggle. The number 52 wasn't just handed to me, it was earned through sacrifice and struggle. A lot of people don't understand that it is hard to get a guy to give up a number. In this locker room, the only way I got my number is because a guy tore his Achilles tendon and I was young and hungry. I chose a number, 58. I chose it because I wanted to make something happen. At that point, we were young, hungry, and motivated. We didn't know what was in front of us. All we knew was the task at hand, which was to win the next down. The reason why the number 52 is so important to me is because every day when I put that uniform on, it reminded me that no matter what obstacles come my way, no matter what mountains stand in my way, no matter how big they are, as long as I take care of the task at hand, as long as I take care of the things that I can control, that everything will work itself out. So with the number 52, it was etched in blood, sweat and tears. So what I love about this speech so much is that it's so real and authentic. You can tell that Ray is not just reciting something from a teleprompter, but he's actually telling a story from the heart. He doesn't hold anything back and he lets the audience in on his thought process during that time in his career. So Ray told us that he chose the no 58 because he wanted to make something happen. Now, it's easy to say those types of things, but we have to really believe it and embody it. Sometimes we all need a little reminder of this, so thank you, Ray. So let's get into some of the key takeaways from this speech. The first takeaway from this speech is that we should be willing to adapt and adjust to new circumstances. As Ray said, the only way he got his number 52 is because another player got injured, so he had to be willing to step up and take on a new challenge. We should be willing to do the same thing whenever life throws us a curveball. Instead of complaining, we should focus on the task at hand and make the best of the situation. And that's exactly what Ray did. He didn't feel sorry for himself. Instead, he used it as motivation to work harder, and eventually he earned the number 52. The second takeaway from this speech is that we should focus on the things that we can control and let go of the things that we can't. As Ray said, No matter how big the mountain is, as long as we take care of the task at hand, everything will work itself out. We should keep this in mind whenever we're facing any challenge. Most of the time we worry about things that are out of our control, and that is what causes us to fail. We have to learn how to stay focused on the task at hand and trust that everything will work itself out. This is the only way to truly overcome any obstacle. The third takeaway from this speech is that we should always strive for excellence and never settle for less. As Ray said, the number 52 was etched in blood, sweat, and tears. He earned that number every single day on the field. And that's what we should strive for in everything that we do. We shouldn't just go through the motions. Instead, we should put our heart and soul into everything and never settle for less. When we do this, we'll be able to achieve our goals and make our dreams come true. And finally, the fourth takeaway from this speech is that we should always remember where we came from and the sacrifices that were made for us. As Ray said, he chose no. 58 because it reminded him of his struggle and sacrifice. We should always remember the journey that got us to where we are today and the people who helped us along the way. When we do this, we'll be able to stay grounded and humble and never forget our roots. This is a very important lesson that we should all keep in mind. So that wraps up the analysis of this amazing speech from Ray Lewis. If you liked this video, please leave a like, comment below, and subscribe so you never miss another video. And if you'd like to check out some more great speeches from some of the greatest athletes of all time, go ahead and click the link right here. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.